Whilst many of us were involved in reading about Harry and Meghan, and of course the wonderful happenings at the America's Cup and the Challenge and what have you, I saw a news item come through which I wanted to comment on at the time, but because I was tied up watching the America's Cup, what have you, I never quite got around to it. But what reminded me of it is an article that appeared in the BFT, and it was written by Barbara Kuriger. Now, Barbara Kuriger is the National Party spokesperson for Energy and Resources. And it was really quite refreshing to read an article that first made sense and certainly enforced the feelings and the common sense that most people would have in New Zealand, most Kiwis would have. But getting back to this coal, the importation of coal, is that because of the crazy Green Labour situation, and let's be quite honest, the Greens are mad. They're quite crazy. Through our Prime Minister listening to them and being a Greenie herself, a Marxist Greenie, which they mostly are, she made it very difficult for the fact of the continuation of coal mining, or providing coal for New Zealand requirements from our own coal stocks. So what do we do now? We are having to import 1 million tonnes, yes, 1 million tonnes of coal each year. And guess where that coal comes from? It doesn't even come from Australia, just across the way. It comes from Indonesia. Some of the dirtiest coal, some of the least regulated areas of coal extraction in the world. And of course, the amount of, if you're going to talk about emissions from the ships that bring it down from Indonesia, apparently one ship is as good in one short run from Indonesia down to New Zealand like something 50,000 cars. But I know our government, our silly government, and our silly coalition with those Greens who are invited into the cabinet room on a regular basis, they're still pushing this nonsense, and it is a nonsense. But as Barbara Kuriger says, a flurry of revelations in the past month show the oil and gas ban is unfolding exactly as officials predicted. So first of all, we have us now importing at least 1 million tonnes of coal every year into New Zealand to keep our industry going. And with the revelations through the gas ban and the oil ban, everything is going exactly to plan. Exactly to plan that our Marxist Prime Minister has requested. Energy and Resource Minister Megan Woods told Parliament that since the oil and gas ban in 2018, 88,000 square kilometres of exploration permits have been relinquished, and she has asked for reports on whether New Zealand will soon need to import LNG. Of all this could have been predicted when the government rocked the energy sector confidence by banning new oil and gas exploration. In relinquishing its Tauroa and Clipper permits, New Zealand oil and gas listed adverse regulatory settings for offshore exploration as one of the confluence of events that led to the decision. The minister refused to listen to officials who said the ban would lead to more reliance on coal, pointing to 100,000 square kilometres permitted for exploration. Today that number is less than 20,000, with no exploration happening outside of Taranaki, Mr. Kuriga says. Megan Woods has now taken this remarkable step of asking for advice on New Zealand importing LNG. It's crazy for an energy-rich country such as New Zealand to be in the position of needing to import gas to keep the lights on. The Minister, of course, will claim that this all has nothing to do with her ban, but the advice she has received is that New Zealand needs about $100 million of investment each year just in our existing wells to keep up production. Since the ban, this investment has naturally been harder to attract, and production is our largest well, that's Pohokura, has shrunk 25%. Now, with gas production falling, New Zealand burned 800,000 tonnes of coal for electricity generation last year. That is 4 times the amount being burned before Labour. Yes, before Labour and Cindy and all her crazy mates were in government. Wholesale electricity prices are also reaching $300 a megawatt hour, compared to about $50 a megawatt hour before the Labour government. Yes, before this Labour government took over. This will soon filter through the retail prices for consumers. And what did we say on this radio station at the time when we saw Cindy go down to Taranaki and tell the oil and the gas producers down there, no more. We're not going to do any more exploration for gas or oil. You know, that's it, finished. It's, your game is over. Your time. And I just sat absolutely gobsmacked. I could not believe that any Prime Minister of any country could say that or even see that one through. But then, of course, we were mistaken, because we saw this happen only 3 weeks ago in America with Joe Biden. He virtually said the same thing. And look what has happened. You know, so it appears that the people who really are starting to run this world are all as nutty as fruitcakes. And I will say right now, I have always said it, and I will always confirm my thoughts about this present-day administration of this Labour Party. They are a pack of bloody fruitcakes. Their actions on this alone, they should never have ever been allowed back into the administrative power in Wellington. They should never have been. This is straight-out treasonable nonsense that we're getting from the Greens and from this Cindy Labour bang of idiots. This is treasonable. This is against everything that you stand for and I stand for. You are not going to like it when the energy prices skyrocket to a point that you're even going to have more trouble in paying your energy bills, all because the people out there in New Zealand thought that Cindy saved their lives from the pandemic. But as one reader said, in 2025, you will no longer to be able to refill your barbecue LPG cylinder. It seems like no one cares about that at the moment, but maybe anyone thinks that Labour is gone by then, and the next government will certainly reverse the ban. And I hope, I really pray that Labour will be gone before the end of this term, because they are proving to be irresponsible in every way in running this country. And to finish this commentary, Barbara Kuriga finished her article off by saying this: Labour's oil and gas ban is turning out exactly as predicted. New Zealand has lost energy security, greenhouse gas emissions have gone up, and consumers will pay more for electricity. And as a well-informed writer has said, even if we got rid of this pack of nutters right now, to get the gas exploration industry back into full swing, it will take up to 30 years. This is what this crazy administration under Ardern has created. That we are now running out of gas, we're running out of natural energy, all because of Marxist Greenie ideology. Those companies have wound down, and proof is shown that it will take millions of dollars and at least 30 years for those exploration companies to get back into doing the job that they should never have stopped doing for our security and for this country called New Zealand.